family has some history in the Kansas City streets, and to that end, like I lost one of my uncles to gun violence. Got shot like 7-8 times and pulled out like the second time. You know, the first time he survived the 5-6 shots. Second time he passed. His brother, my other uncle, was shot 8-9 years ago, still paralyzed from that. One of my uncles overdosed in the city, and then I have one other uncle that's, you know, trying to function and trying to make it. But those were my immediate male influences in my home. And, you know, when they would do what they do, particularly like in East, they just set up shop where they at. I want to go post up with them and go, you know, be around. They always shun me away. Yo, this ain't for you, get out of here, get out of here. Like, and I have one other brother who's finishing up a 10-year federal sentence, right? Because they kind of embraced him into that lifestyle, because his father was part of that lifestyle. And so, like, these were the influences I had. So when I say I shouldn't be here, like, I live with these guys. Like, a lot of stuff they were into, you know, by relation, you know, I'm kind of like in the mix. Not that I'm out there doing the same things, but I always had this protection over me. And God showed me early, I believe it was like 92 or 94. One of my uncle's best friends was shot and killed right in front of our porch when we were all outside. And I remember being there, but when the smoke cleared and I heard the tires screech off, I came from underneath his red car. So I always had a vivid memory of just like being protected, like from a very young age.
We living out the good life, yeah. I ain't gotta worry about a thing. Oh no. Had some obstacles I overcame. Oh yeah. You don't have to ever be the same. Oh Lord. Cause when we change the mind, we change the game. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kenneth Allen Thomas. We are here on another episode of the Kenneth Allen Thomas Show. I don't have my co-hosts with me today. Normally I have Nick and Guy and everything with me, but we do have a special guest to go ahead and give you guys some inspiration, some motivation, some knowledge, some wisdom, some rawness, some authenticness. My man 50 grand from Camden, New Jersey. My man Mr. Bryan Phillips is in the building, man. What's going on, baby?
Blessed, man. Blessed to be here.
Blessed to be here.
Yes,
my man, my man. Listen, so for those that don't know Bryan, listen, this is what we like to do on the show. We like to bring people on that may not have the big, huge name yet, you know what I'm saying, on social media or anything like that, but I want to bring knowledgeable people. I want to bring, you know, edified people, edified spirits and everything to you guys that can give you some insight, some rawness, some authenticity that you may need. Somebody needs this conversation that we're about to have. Somebody is going through something right now, no matter where you're at, no matter if you got $1 million, 10 million, you know, 100,000, 40,000. It's not about your financial status or where you're at. It's really about how we can grow and what we can give you, and how we can serve you and give you value and add value to your life. All right. Now, Mr. Bryan here, that's what the kids call him. The kids call him Mr. Bryan. Mm-hmm. Mr. Bryan. He is the senior. What is it?
Program coordinator.
Program coordinator for the RFS program, which is Rutgers Future Scholars here in Camden, New Jersey. Okay, so my man, but his story is a lot deeper. Story's a lot deeper. We're gonna get into all of that good stuff. You know, Bryan, how did, like, just start us off and everything. Just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and how you got into serving the youth.
Most definitely. Well, hello everyone. Sending you all peace and blessings in Jesus' name. You already know.
Amen.
First and foremost, I want to thank Kenny for having me on. It's an honor and a blessing to be in your presence.
For sure.
Your platform, everything you're doing, I just acknowledge and appreciate it.
Appreciate
you know,
you.
real stand-up man right here doing real stand-up man things.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Big facts.
I'm Bryan Phillips from Camden, New Jersey, 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm working at Rutgers, as Kenny said, for the Rutgers Future Scholars program in Camden. I've been serving there for about 8 years now. Mm-hmm. And prior to that, I worked at my old high school, Leap Academy in Camden, New Jersey, and served there for 4.5 years prior to coming to Rutgers. And on top of that, just serving my community.
Yeah.
I have a nonprofit with my brother, Tion Russell, called Heart of the City Youth Advocacy.
Okay.
Yep. And so we focus on helping students not only with their academic and social needs, but also trying to bring in that health and wellness aspect to cover them on all forms.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Now, you know, I think health and wellness is the big topic and everything on this channel, and what we talk about health and wellness, especially with the youth and their parents as well too. We live in a completely different age than what we grew up in the 80s and 90s, right?
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And what are some of the things that you see today that are completely different from how we grew up? You know what I'm saying? As far as like the children, obviously like the internet age that we're living in, but in terms of how they're growing up and what they're exposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're around the youth all the time.
Right.
And for the parent out there that may be, you know, struggling with their child and trying to figure out like what to do with them and how to get them to another level, and seeing the things that they're exposed to that they don't necessarily have too much control over, but just because it's blatantly in their face all the time. What do you say to those parents? What do you say to those kids, you know?
Wow, that's really deep and interesting, man. But I think to hit it right on the head, I think that parents, they'll benefit more these days from being more transparent. And I'll just give you a case in point. So when I was coming up, I was born in '87, and I came up in the '90s. You know, the '90s were wild. But back in that time, you know, you almost had a, this is the adults, this is what the adults do, and this is what the kids, and you stay in the child's place. And, you know, when we're at the table eating, the kids are in the living room doing their thing. And for myself, I'm half Mexican and half black. And so I'm supposed
to... He said he half Mexican and half black. You know what I'm saying? My man. Okay, continue.
And so I'm supposed to be bilingual, you know? But my parents, my aunts, my grandmother, my mom, they all spoke fluently, but they would kind of, you know, keep family business in Spanish. That way we didn't kind of pick up on what's really going on, you know, because it was struggling times, hard times. And so they wanted to keep kids separated from the struggles per se. But I think now, like you said, we're in the information age, technology age, and information is just all around you. No matter what we try to do with our children, try to shield them or put protections on, like, they're going to be exposed. And so I think being transparent these days are just like, it's golden. You know, kids can't handle the severity of the heaviness of everything we go through, but there is a way to keep them in the know without giving them all the details. And I think what I find with working with students and parents, those parents that are more open, honest, and transparent, you know, those hot parents,
I know
they get, not saying that the battles are less or even, you know, easier, but they're just more open, and I think that just brings more to the table when you have open communication, and you can, you know, really open up with your kids.
I want to touch on that. I want to touch on the communication aspect, right? Like, my experience, right, and me being a parent, you have a child as well too. Like, I think that a lot of kids have issues. Not just kids. Let me just say people in general. In these days, it's a communication barrier that we're facing, right? I think that oftentimes you find people that are so quick to have a conversation via text versus via face-to-face. Right?
Most definitely.
It's like we're afraid of what's in person. You know what I'm saying? And we rather send out a text message, you know what I'm saying, and leave it to interpretation, which can be more divisive than anything, because somebody can read a message and interpret it, you know, a certain way. I mean, think about it. Like, you could take the Bible, for example. People misinterpret the Bible all the time, right? But instead of reading it in context. So I always feel like it's important that we elevate the communication level of where we're at from a professional standpoint, personal standpoint, especially in marriages, with our children and stuff. Like, how do you open up the communication barriers, even with your son right now? Like, what are some, you know, because your son is what, 5?
He's 5.
So how are you opening up that communication level with him?
Well, I would say since Tehran turned about 2.5, like, communication has just been off the charts, because like, bro just does not stop talking.
Right.
So it's by force a little bit, but also he's really inquisitive. So my son asks a lot of why questions, and, you know, early on I would be like, son, you know, just because. Like, I had to really learn how to really explain myself. And here I am explaining myself to a 4 or 5-year-old, but what it does is actually reinforce what we're doing, why, and now he's privy to what I'm doing. So I like to bring Teron with me everywhere. I'm working, playing ball, doing community service. I'm in the community, volunteer coaching, whatever it is. Teron's right by my side. And he does ask a lot of questions. He's very involved with a lot of things I'm involved with, but it's really just him being inquisitive. And, you know, I know not all, well, all kids are very inquisitive, but he really wants to know. He has like a yearning, a deep yearning for wanting to know why and why we do it this way. And he's also very rigid right now. So if I tell him, oh, we can't, you know, talk while my mom is talking, and then a few seconds later, if I start talking, like, I thought we can't do that, and now he's frustrated. And so now you have to like break down these barriers and be like, you have to teach, you know, by circumstance and experience as well. And so I think I'm lucky because I have a son who's like really wants to know all these things, and so I'm forced to be in that mind frame of just explaining. I'm giving him details and really laying the foundation. Like even on the way driving over here, taking him to my grandmother's house, and so we prayed this morning when we woke up, and then we were in the car. We usually do praise and worship, and so I just turned the music down. I'm like, son, I know we prayed, but I want you to pray again. I want to just, you know, reiterate how important it is for us to have that communication with God and show him how much we need him, how much we love him. And he's just like, well, we pray. Why we have to do that? I said, well, it's communication. It's ongoing. It's not just you do it in the morning and later at night or in the middle of the day when you need him. It's ongoing. And so
you know, Smith Wigglesworth said, I never pray more than 30 minutes in a day, but I never go another 30 minutes without praying again. You know what I'm saying? And like, to your point, it's like it's ongoing. And you breaking it down, you explaining that to him tells me a lot. You develop the skill of patience with your child, because think about it. We come into this world, we don't know anything.
Clueless.
We're clueless. We come into this world, we're clueless. And you know, we want to know things. We want to understand things. Like, well, why is it like that? And why is this like this? Well, how come she did this, or how come he did that? And oftentimes you find parents say things like, because I said so.
I'm guilty.
Right? Because I said so. And I've been there too. But it learning now in the way that children are seeing life, it makes me take a step back to be like, I got it, put in the extra time to let me explain this to you. Let me wrap this out or whatever, right? So with my sons, I'll sit there and say the same thing. Like, listen, I'm gonna explain to you why. But see, here's the difference. Me being a speaker, right, is different, because then my kids be like, "Oh my God,
here we go, Dad,
like,
about to talk.
Here he go," because it's like, because Caleb will do the same thing, right? Caleb will be like, we'll be in the car, and I'll say, he'll have his AirPods on, and I'll say, Caleb, what you listening to? And he might have had something on that he wasn't supposed to be listening to, and be like, yo, turn that off, yo. And he'd be like, why? I thought that, like, it's, you know, it's not bad. I said, no, turn that off. And then I'll say, you know, because I said so. But then he'll say why. He was like, and then I'll say, I'll explain why. And when I go to explaining why, he thought what was joking to him, like, he was joking around, like, oh my God, why? And then he'll say, oh my God, here we go, going to a life lesson. Yeah, it's going to go into a life lesson. You really want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. Right? And I think that we should really put that onto our children as well too. Okay, you really want to know why? I'm gonna tell you why, because then you're going to understand and learn that at the end of the day, there are certain things are the way they are for a reason, or I'm telling you not to do this for a reason. Really for your own protection, for your own good, because you don't really understand exactly what you're falling into right now. You know what I'm saying? But you work with, you know, parents and you work with children and stuff, and then you run a whole staff as well too, you know. So being from a professional standpoint, how big does the communication level have to be for your staff, so that you have to, you know, implement and delegate different tasks and everything to them?
So I mean, it's 100% necessary, the communication aspect. of working and being in charge of such a large program. I mean, it goes such a long way. First and foremost, I try to surround myself with other servant leaders, right?
That's big. That's big.
Yeah, other servant leaders. One thing anyone that works with me would tell you, I am not fond of folks walking around calling me their boss, right? Because I think growing up, when I was in college, right, Big Ross, the boss, was out, right? And so this whole mentality around bossing up.
You got the beard too.
You know what I'm saying? It just kind of like took a life of its own where it almost gave this fallacy where like I can do everything by myself. I don't need anyone. I'm here. I'm the boss type thing. And to me, that's 100% false, because it's like, I need you. You know what I'm saying? I need you. I need folks to get to where I need to be, right? We're all on these different journeys and life paths, but each of us needs someone to help us get to where we need to be, like hands down. Like it's always someone that's rooting you on or passing your resume forward or giving you some guidance, some wisdom, some tips, some insight.
Right.
And so I'm a firm believer that without you, I can't do my job. And you in particular, you worked with us this summer, right? As our dance instructor and leadership instructor. Like, we needed that. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to impact those students that you had such an amazing time with this summer. You know what I mean? And so letting everyone know how valuable they are from the beginning, letting everyone know this is a labor of love. This is a service. We are in service to other people, right? Just setting that stage and that foundation. Like I give a servant leadership. I have like 3 pillars for that, and I go into those and just really letting folks know that we're here to serve other people first and foremost. This is a selfless job, and if you're here to serve your community, yourself, your families, then we can do something powerful here.
I want to transition to this. You mentioned service. People that are trying to get to another level in life, right? You know, oftentimes you find the people that we're living in the entrepreneur type of world. I had a friend tell me one time, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and that's cool, but somebody got to work.
Yeah. Somebody
got to be the employee. Everybody can't be the boss, right? And when you mention a life of service and stuff, like go in a little bit deeper on, what service truly, means to you.
Yeah.
And how people can really elevate, because right now somebody is listening to this and they're like, well, I want to get to the next level. Well, what is that? Right? And if we say service, let's break that apart real quick on what type of service we talking about.
Most definitely. And so, man, I'm a firm believer that each and every person was born on purpose for a specific purpose. Like, we are all born we're here for a reason. We're born on purpose. And all the youth I come in contact with, I tell each and every one of them that you have endless talent, you have endless potential, right? And it's up to adults like us, right, who are in leadership to kind of mold and hone those skills to get them to where they need to be, or just to be, a pillar on that path to get them where they need to be.
Right.
And so I try to instill this value that, I'm here for a reason. I have a purpose, and I'm going to fulfill that purpose while I'm here on earth. And so, like, that's just the base level for everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to have some stake in the game, some skin in the game. Like you know what I'm saying? And I try to rev them up around this ideal of, being purpose driven, right? And for those who might even struggle with their purpose, okay, you don't know what your purpose is. What's your interests, your hobbies, your things you do for fun, right? All right, you tell me those things. Okay, how can we make that lucrative? How can we make that your income? Because when I was in college, a professor told me, and I was in college, by the way, I thought I was going to be a sports agent, right? That's what I thought I wanted to do. So I'm in this marketing class, sports marketing class, professor, world-renowned professor. Shout out to Mike Finkelstein. Everybody know Fink worldwide, from ESPN to Rutgers to everywhere. Like, he's just that guy when it comes to sports marketing, a trailblazer in that field. And so he said, if you turn your avocation into your vocation, you'll never truly work a day in your life. So turn your avocation, your interests, your hobbies, things you love to do for fun, into your vocation, how you make a living, how you make a earning. That way you merge them and you're never working. And so that joint just stuck with me. It just permeated through my brain. I'm like a junior in college. I'm like, yo, I need to go back home. I was in college at Rutgers in New Brunswick. And so, you know, big D1, a lot of athletes, a lot of opportunity around. So, you know, I thought I was going to make that like home for a while. After I heard that, I'm like, man, I got to get back home. I got to get back home and help in some way. I didn't know what avenue there would be or how I would go about it, but I'm just like, I'm going to go back to my community and help be a pillar.
Wow. Wow. So turn your avocation into your vocation. So the thing that you advocate for, the thing that you know, love the most, pretty much, you know, turn that into your vocation.
Yes,
wow,
sir.
That's deep, man. That's deep. I never really heard it like that before, and it's something that I feel like I've already been doing, you know, like all my life. Like I care about people winning.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I care about people winning. I care about my community. I care about my son, my family. I'm all about faith, family, and leadership.
Yes,
like
sir.
that's what I advocate for all the time, and everything that falls under that particular umbrella. A lot of times on this channel, we get people that are going through hell and high water. You know what I'm saying? Before I dive in, I want everybody to understand that we are this particular show is sponsored by Nobody's Coming to Save You: How to Lead Through a Storm. All right, which is coming out August 31st. Get the book.
Get that.
Get the book,
Get
guys.
that.
Get the book. It's coming out. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is coming to save you. No dash body is coming to save you. I'm not saying that Jesus is not coming back to save you. I'm saying no physical being is going to help you do the work. Now, when we talk about doing the work, when we talk about advocating, we talk about, you know, your turn that into your vocation. You got to do the work.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't say this in the beginning, y'all, but my man said he from Camden. Really, he was from Mississippi. He a Southern boy.
Yes, sir.
He
Yes,
a Southern
sir.
boy.
Yes,
So before I go into my next question and everything, let me just peel back real quick. How do we get from Mississippi to Camden, New Jersey?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So shout out to Yazoo City, Mississippi. That's the hometown.
Yeah.
I was born in Yazoo City. So my family is interesting, man. I have, being half Mexican, I have family from Mexico and some from Texas. And so my grandmother and her sisters, my aunts, they actually married servicemen, right? And so the servicemen kind of lived in Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi.
Okay.
Right? And so that's
what's a serviceman, for those that don't know what
someone who serves in the military.
Okay, got it.
I believe they were either Army or Navy. I forget which one in particular. I want to say Army men. But they live close to a base, right? And so naturally, you know, that's what happened. And so they migrated. And so when my mother was 14. My mother was 14. She became pregnant with me.
Wow.
Yep. Gave birth to me at 15. And so from the beginning, you know, it was a miracle because a lot of folks were telling her, you know, Brenda, don't have that baby. You're too young to have that baby, you know. And she was like, no, you know, I'm gonna have my baby. And God was giving her something that she desperately needed in that time, you know, which was someone to care for, someone to love on, and then later for that to be reciprocated, you know. And so it got real deep. Yeah. But I ended up coming to Camden. My mom left Mississippi because her and my biological father just weren't seeing eye to eye. Wasn't the best type of circumstances. So she was like, I gotta remove myself. And also she did that while he was in the Marines. So he had left to California for the Marines. So she darted, you know, when he had left. So
who is Mexican?
My mom.
Your mom is Mexican.
100% Mexican.
Mom 100% Mexican.
Man.
Your dad's black.
Shout out to my mama, man.
Wow.
Everybody know Miss Brenda from the hood, from Camden, man. Shout out to her.
That's
She's the
what's
reason why I do everything I do, man.
That's what's up. I gotta meet Miss Brenda. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? She sound like Miss Brenda sound like she can cook too.
She threw it down. She throws it down.
Anybody got a name named Brenda
She
over there for
throws it
some
down.
reason can get down in the kitchen.
And y'all in the same boat, man. She a certified life coach. She'll love to best build with
we
you.
gonna bring on Miss Brenda. We gonna bring on Miss Brenda. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to meet Miss Brenda.
Like them comments up.
Yeah. So check this out, bro. I got some questions and everything from the audience. I oftentimes will go online on YouTube, and I like to vet my audience. I want to know what they want to hear, what they want to talk about, maybe some things that they're going through. And I wanted to give you a couple questions, and we can both answer and add to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I did a Ask Me Anything, right? And this is from Renew Kenneth, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Renew Kenneth. He says, why is it that most of us are not happy even after having everything we need?
Why are most of us still unhappy after having everything we need?
Right.
So, what I would say is a lot of folks are chasing an ideal of happiness or a vision, something that's on the outside, But I believe true happiness comes from the inside.
That's right.
Right. So even if all my needs are met, like I have food, I have shelter, I have clothing, right? Those are my basic needs, right? I have some people that love me, like those are met. Even internally, I have to be at peace with myself. I have to kind of dig deep within myself. And I think that's where, the conversation we have offline are about spending that time, that quality time with self, that quality time with God, just being purposeful in all of our endeavors.
Yeah. I think to answer his question, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. I think people are unhappy even though they have everything they need because they look at the world from an outside view, right? We look at the world and we see what's going on. And we see, okay, this person got this and this person has that. We look at the world and we see the materialistic things, right? Even though you have everything that you need, right? We want more. People are more in tune into competition than being more creative.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I read somewhere where if a person is more competitive in a sense, or always thinking about the competition, not saying that you can't be competitive, but you're thinking about the competition, thinking about, what this person has and looking at the scoreboard all the time because you want more than what that person has, then you'll never have enough. But if you're creative, right, and if you think creatively, you have more than enough. Right, so I think that a lot of people, they feel this way because of an upbringing, B, what is visually sent to them, what they see every single day on social media, on the news, and stuff like that. It comes down to what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding into your spirit? You know what I'm saying? Every single day, people will always feel like there's never enough because of what they see, right? But the thing is that what you don't see is more important than what you do see, right? It's that thing that like your heart inside. I don't see it right in front of you, right on the outer surface. I know it's in there though, and I know that it's important. And the fact that if the heart stops, then we stop.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But it's certain things that we need in that aspect. To that you say? To
that I say, as you're speaking, what comes to mind is Ezekiel 26, Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36 and 23, I believe. But I know the scripture, it says, and I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out your stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive heart. And so what I gather from what you're saying and from the scripture is that like a lot of us are hardened because of life. Like our hearts are hardened because of life. Right? But if you allow God through his spirit to renew it, right, he's going to soften that up. But he's saying everything you've been through, right, I'm going to ease those burdens. I'm going to actually carry them for you, right? And so you're going to look at life a little bit different. So it's not that your circumstances changed at all, but your perspective changed.
Wow.
And so that's,
You know what's dope about you saying that, and you talk about a hardened heart. I was reading this morning, I think it was Mark chapter 6, verse 45. Jesus had dismissed the crowd, right? Now, everybody, that's important right there. Write that down. Jesus dismissed the crowd. And then he told the disciples to get on the boat, you know what I mean, and sail upon, and I'll catch up with y'all later. Right? Now let's think about this for a second. Right? Ain't nobody stopped to sit there and say, like, hold up, like, what you mean you gonna catch up with us later? Right? Because Jesus went over to the mountainside to pray. And this is after he fed the 5,000. Right? Now, meanwhile, in the 5,000, for those that know that story, when he fed the 5,000, the disciples and everything was on something like, wait, if we go into the village and get this food or whatever, that's 8 months worth of wages. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we ain't gonna have no money left, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing, y'all. So the thing was is that the disciples had a hardened heart because they had no faith. Right? They had no faith. Now, when he sent them away, he said this. He dismissed the crowd and sent them on their way. Went to go pray, and then caught up with them later. And here he go, walking on water. And then they thought it was a ghost. And then he was like, "Yo, don't be frightened. It's
your boy.
You know what I'm saying? It's me. I'm here. I'm here." And them seeing that gave them even more faith. Why did he do that? Right? Because Jesus had to, number one, dismiss the crowd. Y'all too distracted by what's going on that you can't see what's real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all too distracted about seeing, all this other stuff, and you don't believe yet. You know what I'm saying? I chose you for a reason. And I want somebody to understand that God chose you for a reason. God chose you to do something specific for a reason. And the fact that you're here in this world, the fact that you're here and you're walking on this earth is nothing short but a miracle. And the odds of you even being born is crazy. Right?
Yes, sir.
And you just mentioned like your mom had you at 15. Like, come on, like that's not a normal thing. For a 15-year-old girl, especially in this day and age, to be like, "Oh, I'm doing this." Like, nah, like she made that decision to do that, and she could have not. Right. And the thing is that I feel like people, we have to get our hearts softened in order to build our faith. And when we do that, we become a little bit more vulnerable to what is more real rather than what's fake, and dismissing the depression, dismissing the anxiety, dismissing the past traumas and all that stuff, dismissing the fear, right? You got to dismiss the crowd so that you can see yourself or whatever on the next level and seeing what's truly real.
Wow, I mean, you hit it right on the nose. You said unpacking those traumas, unpacking that fear.
Right.
Trauma and fear keep people encapsulated for years. Like, keep them as captives, and they don't even know it.
They don't even know
what I mean? So I think, like, even giving people a little bit of insight on how to, break those traumas and break those fears. Personally, when they come, because I'm from Camden, New Jersey.
Give me something.
From all intents and purposes, like, I shouldn't be here today. I should not be here today. I grew up in a household, and I always joke and say we were packed like Mexicans. We really were. It was like we were like 9 to 10 deep in a little apartment in East State Village. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so, but my uncles, they ran amok in the streets. Like, my family has some history in the Kansas City streets, and to that end, like, I lost one of my uncles to gun violence. Got shot like 7-8 times and pulled out. Like the second time, the first time he survived the 5-6 shot. Second time he passed. His brother, my other uncle, was shot about 8-9 years ago. Still paralyzed from that. One of my uncles overdosed in the city, and then I have one other uncle that's trying to function and trying to make it. But those were my immediate male influences in my home. And when they would do what they do, particularly like in East State, just set up shop where they at, I want to go post up with them and go be around. They always shun me away. Yo, this ain't for you, get out of here, like. And I have one other brother who's finishing up a 10-year federal sentence, right, because they kind of embraced him into that lifestyle, because his father was part of that lifestyle. And so, like, these were the influences I had. So when I say I shouldn't be here, like, I live with these guys. Like, a lot of stuff they were into, by relation, I'm kind of like in the mix. Not that I'm out there doing the same things, but I always had this protection over me. And God showed me early, I believe it was like 92 or 94. One of my uncle's best friends was shot and killed right in front of our porch when we were all outside. And I remember being there, but when the smoke cleared and I heard the tires screech off, I came from underneath his red car. So I always had a vivid memory of just like being protected, like from a very young age.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow. That's deep, bro. That's deep. What do you say to the young man that may be in that situation right now? Or the young girl? Any
young men or young women that's from an inner city, right? Because we have what's happening in Camden, New Jersey is not unique to Camden. We have that all over this country and all over the world. But what I would say is, you know, God sees you, God knows you, He loves you and created you for a reason. And so whatever you're going through, those circumstances are going to do nothing but make you stronger. They're going to build you up, and God's going to use those situations to help you be impactful for other people. And so, you know, I know it gets tough, you know, it gets lonely, but it's all for a reason, and God got you, 100%.
Amen. Amen. I want to go to another question here, right? Let's see. We got
a lot of questions.
I got a lot of questions, bro. A lot of questions going on. They was going in.
Coming, man. Write some questions under this one for my brother, man.
Yeah, they was going in. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. NDI Victorian. I'm not sure who that is, but listen. NDI Victorian says, each time I want to do something better for myself, I'm unable. How do I go about it? At times, laziness stops me, and fatigue too. Let me start off this one. How bad do you really want it? Like, that's the question. How bad do you really want it? You said laziness stops you, and oftentimes fatigue too. So you just answered your question, right? You just answered it for yourself. If you remove the laziness, if you remove the fatigue, right, you can reach your goal and get to the next level. And the question becomes again, like, how bad do you really, really, really want to get there? Like, you want to do something better for yourself, and you say that you're unable. Stop calling that stuff on yourself and start putting, you know, more positive words into yourself. Okay, you got to start replacing those negative words with more positive words, with more things that's going to affirm your destiny, affirm your greatness, affirm the reason why you're here. And maybe you don't have people around you that are going to give you that type of knowledge and wisdom and love, right? But there are millions and millions of resources online. There's millions of resources in your vicinity that you can probably reach out to somebody to help you and figure that out. But the one thing I always say is, listen, you got to be in tune with the one that created you first. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in tune with the one that said, listen, I brought you here. I created you in the womb. Nobody knew what you was going to look like but me, right? Nobody. So the fact that you saying that laziness stops you, no, you stopping you, right? You stopping you at the end of the day. You saying fatigue stopping you? No, you stopping you, okay? Let's cut to the chase and let's put it in this right perspective. Stop stopping you, right? And you won't be stopped at all. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I want people to understand that I try to put it in a nice way possible, but sometimes you just gotta be straight raw and authentic. Like, you gotta let them have it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. And I say that with love too. I say that with love. I don't say that to be disrespectful, but I say that to encourage you, to empower you, to say, listen, you can do this. You can go to this next level. And guess what? There may be somebody right now that may have the same exact question.
Yeah, I mean, and you right on the nose. I mean, he said, like, laziness, that's sloth, right? That's one of the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
But you replace them with the fruit of the Spirit.
Fruit of the Spirit.
You know what I mean? It's that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control,
That's
right?
right.
And faithfulness.
And faithfulness, yeah.
And faithfulness,
yeah.
And so you replace, like you said, like those characteristics, you replace them and fill your spirit back up.
Recognize and replace. Recognize and replace. The minute that we recognize that we have laziness coming in, replace it with activity. You know what I'm saying? The minute that you have fatigue coming in, you know what I'm saying? Replace it with some form of energy or whatever that's going to get you going, right? You know what I'm saying? We talk about, come on now, obstacles over opportunity. Obstacles over...
Is it an obstacle or an opportunity?
Oh, obstacle or opportunity. Which one is it, right?
Exactly.
Now let me ask you this. You a healthy guy, right? And they just talked about fatigue. What are some things that you do or whatever to help you, you know, so that you don't fall into fatigue and stuff like that from a health standpoint?
Most definitely. So for the last 5+ years, when I found out I was going to be a father, I kind of changed like a lot of my habits, right? And so eating was like one of the main things. And so I went from eating just about whatever I wanted every day. Gotta have my fried chicken, gotta have my steaks here and there, you know what I'm saying, here and there, some pork chops. I can't even believe that. I used to tear them joints up, but so what I did to help my mental capacity and my health overall, I stopped eating meat and processed foods and dairy. So I basically went on a plant-based journey, eating all all organic fruits, all organic vegetables. And what I found out is that not only am I less heavy, like not just like my stomach heavy, like, you know, my brain heavy, just feeling down because of the food we ate, I started to feel like much lighter, and I was able to do a lot more things, like become way more active. And then my perspective even changed. Like it's almost like I got more of a more vision. Like I got more like a brighter vision, so I can see the world around me more clear. I can tune into my own thoughts more clearly.
Wow.
I'm basically on a higher frequency because I'm choosing not to put things in my body that's going to be harmful, or my body's going to have to work overtime to kick out these toxins because I didn't put them in.
Right. So you were a lot heavier than what you
I
were.
was about 250.
250.
250. I'm like 195 right now.
195 on them. 195. Well, I'm a solid 130.
Oh, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
Fresh out the shower?
You know what I'm saying? Straight up, solid 130. You know what I mean? And I'm kicking it. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? But I always been skinny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's still no excuse, because even though you may be thin or have a fast metabolism or something like that, you may not be eating healthy and stuff like that. So I try my best to make sure that I do. I'm not there yet with the pork chops, you know what I'm saying? I'm not there yet with the, you know, with my beef and my steak and stuff like that. I still like those things from time to time. It's not every day or nothing like that. But I do my best to try and keep my health intact, especially when, you know, speaking. And I got a 5th kid coming. So it's like you gotta have, you know, that type of energy and everything to flow around. Like, you got to be able to move, and you got to, like you said, remaining sharp.
Yeah, mental sharpness is a key. Mental sharpness is a key, and the word tells our body is a temple, right? It belongs to the Spirit of God, and so if we keep our spirits edified and our temples edified by putting the best things in, I think of it like this: like, I was born with one vehicle. I was born with this body as a vehicle. Right, any car I buy or get in, like, that's just extra. But this is my only vehicle. Yeah. So for certain cars, like a BMW, you have to put 93 in there, like the best type of gas, right? But if I have a Toyota, right, I can put regular in there. Our bodies is like the best vehicle, so I want to put the most premium organic food in this.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
I like that.
Just want to look at it that way. It's different because the way we were raised. I'm from down south. Right. We Black and Hispanic. We know our culture. Yeah. But it's just about relearning, and slowly but surely. Like, I'm not all the way there, right? I'm still on the journey.
That's right.
But we have a goal. I know where I want to be, and so I'm slowly getting there.
I love it. I want to transition to this before we end it. Oftentimes we talk about, you know, the past couple weeks we talk about mental health, but today I want to talk about mental wealth. I want to talk about mental wealth. And I don't mean finances. I mean, how do we increase the wealth of our mindset, wealth of our spirit, you know, the wealth of our being? I oftentimes look at people and they're not necessarily walking in who they are, who they were called to be. Right? And they can't find that person. Some people want to be, you know, someone that they're not. Oh, maybe you want to be this artist. Maybe you want to be the Cardi B's of the world, or the Meg Thee Stallions, or the you know, the Kendrick Lamar, whatever. You want to be a LeBron James and stuff like that. We're gonna talk about him too in a second. But you know what I'm saying. But you, like, when you hear mental wealth, you know what I'm saying. Like, what comes to mind in how a person should be taking care of that?
Yeah. So mental wealth, that's a new one. Yeah. That's a new one.
Yeah, we just talked about it today.
And it really has my mind still racing, you know, because we don't talk about these type of things. Yeah. Like, when we talk about mental health and checking in, right? We talk about gaining financial wealth, but we don't put mental and being wealthy together and merge the two. And so, like I told you right before we went on, it kind of had me in that mind state of being able to take a vacation, right? Because only, you know, having a vacation is a luxury, right? It's a luxury. Not everyone gets to experience a vacation. And so when you said mental wealth, my first thing was a mental vacation, because I have to be able to take myself on trips. I have to be able to take myself somewhere. I have to get away. Yeah. But, you know, it's expensive, right? So like mentally, how do we do that? So I'm thinking, for me, in the mornings when I wake up, like that first 30 minutes to an hour is just reserved for myself and for the Lord. You know, so mentally I'm locked in. I'm thanking Him for the day. I'm thanking You for waking me up. I'm thanking You for all the blessings, for keeping us safe throughout the night. You know, I'm still here. I have another day to move on to the journey that You have before me. So I'm really grateful. I give my gratitude. And then, you know, I want to stretch. I want to stretch my body out. I want to sit down on the floor, open my legs. I want to breathe and meditate, right? Just think about what's going on today, what I have to accomplish, just letting go of anything else. And when you meditate, it's called the 3-5-7. So you inhale for 3 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, and then let it out for 7. So research even says that if you meditate upon like as soon as you wake up for at least 10 minutes, your brain functions at least 70% higher for that day.
Really?
At least.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's like a reset every morning. Like, so for me, that's building mental wealth. That's building mental wealth, right, for that day, right? Because we gotta worry about this day in front of us.
This day, yeah, today.
And so every day I'm trying to kind of get in that zone where, all right, I woke up, I'm grateful, show my gratitude. I breathed it in, breathed it out. I'm open, right? I'm receptive to the Spirit. I stretch. Now my body is functional. All right, let's get it.
Yo, you know what's crazy is that, like, this morning when I woke up, it's like maybe like 5 a.m. I came outside and it was already starting to get light out. And I was literally outside for maybe about 15, 20 minutes and just having a conversation with God. And it's just like, man, like, I in some of my talks, I've talked about the aspect of a special 5. The special 5 is where you just look at things that you look at every day, but you take an appreciation for them, like the trees, the green grass, the color green, right? My sons have a play set in the backyard, so the wood that's on, it's like, dang, that wood came from that tree. And just to see what was actually formed into it, this is just a tree, but what can actually come out of it. I want you to think about what can come out of you when you go outside in the morning. What can come outside of you? What's already inside you that has yet to be formed? And embrace those things. Embrace the fact that you're here and you're saying like, dang, that's a truck that's about to be delivered to some people so that they can eat food. Or that's like a truck of furniture so that someone can sit. This is wood that came from, you know, a tree, from nature, and everything, all these different resources that we have. I want you guys to form an appreciation of life that can take you to a whole other level. That's mental wealth. When you're appreciating and you're taking in and investing into your mindset and what you receive, and then, you know, there's a transaction that takes place that you are giving to another person from what you have already took inside you, formed, and now here you go, right? So what you're pouring inside you is what, you know, God is putting in you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we have this like the overflow. Right? It's like the overflow.
We're on the same wave.
You feel me?
That's what I was thinking.
It's like the overflow. It's like this, right? all right, so Busted, check this out. I want everybody to think about it like this. So a couple weeks ago, I was at shop, right? And my man Mike went up. I think I might have told the story and everything last week, but I'm gonna tell it again. And I seen Mike there and saw what he was going through. I haven't seen Mike in a couple years. But I knew I took care of myself that morning. So there was something that was already inside me that I was ready to give. I just didn't know who I was going to give it to. So I go into the shop, right? And we start chatting. Maybe like 15 minutes go by. And I said, Mike, you got to think of yourself as the top shelf, right? You got to start taking care of you. You got to start taking care of who you are so that you can be a supplier to other people that's under you. Your son, your girl, your family, all of that stuff. You got to start taking care of you, because if you continue to stay behind, then you're gonna end up falling and ain't nobody gonna catch you, right? So if you keep putting people before you. So I said you got to think of yourself as the top glass. You ever been to one of those weddings or a banquet where there's like this whole chandelier or pyramid of glasses, and there's the top glass at the top, and it's like a fountain, and the glasses is pouring out. I want everybody to think of it like this, right? You are the top glass in your life, right? And you're also the bottom glass in someone else's life. But you are the top glass in your life because at some point, you know, you got to look at it like God is the one that's doing the pouring. And as he's pouring, the overflow starts to happen, and into the next glass, into the next glass, into the next glass, into the next glass. Keep yourself as the top glass because you want to keep getting this overflow from what God is already putting in you. Because once you do that, you know what I'm saying, it's game over, baby. We're going to keep overflowing and overflowing and overflowing, taking it to the next level.
And it's all about overflow, man. As you're speaking, you know, I'm getting the visual, right? But one thing that's sticking out, you know, the pessimist sees a glass, right, and he says the glass, and it's only half, you know, it's half full. Yeah. No, excuse me. The pessimist says it's half empty.
Half empty.
The optimist says it's half full. But the believer says my cup runneth over.
Woo!
You know what I mean? So.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Listen, before we end, you play ball.
Oh yeah, I get right.
You know what I'm saying? You got game tonight. Got game tonight. You know what I'm saying? Are you did you play? Have you played in the league with the Camden Monarchs?
Nah, not in that drum.
You playing that drum?
That's like a ABA type drum.
Okay, all right.
I'm in the Terry Myers League, the Camden City League.
Okay.
And then League Bound.
Okay, okay. What position you play?
Really shooting guard. Like
shooting guard? So you play too? Okay.
Guard, yeah.
All right, all right. So listen, there's always this debate of, you know, the greatest of all time, right?
Oh man.
So give me, but before we go to greatest or whatever, before we go to that question, give me your top 5.
My top 5?
Yeah.
All time?
All time. No order. Don't matter what order.
All right, no order. All time. So I'm going to go LeBron James. You can keep him at 1. Michael Jordan, of course. Shaquille O'Neal, to me, is probably the best big man to ever play the game. And then I'm going to have to take it back a little bit. Well, not back, but my era, AI. You know,
yeah, of course.
To me, he's a GOAT. Like, he's like one of the best players ever. And then let me see. I'm gonna keep it real light and go Tim Duncan for a power.
Tim Duncan, wow,
he's
okay.
One of the most mechanically sound engineers that ever touched a rock.
Yeah. So greatest of all time between LeBron and MJ, you going with Bron?
I'm gonna have to go. I'm Team Bron.
It's because of the beard, ain't it?
No, it's because what he's been able to accomplish in the last 18 years straight through, and plus what he does off the court for youth. Like, that's really inspiring.
That's dope. Yeah, I can't knock LeBron or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a Jordan head.
I know.
All the way. You know what I'm saying? But I can't knock LeBron for what he does on and off the court.
Oh, yeah.
I think that, see, for me, I look at MJ like one of. Some people may not know this. I look at MJ like one of my favorite dancers. Most people think like, well, what's your favorite dancer? My favorite dancer is Mr. Wiggle, Stefan Clemente. Like my favorite. Shout out to Wiggs. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because of what he did on and off the dance floor, right? And paved the way to, you know, for dancers like myself to make it not just as a dancer but as a business, right? MJ did the same thing. It was like paving the way, right? Like he took less money for a lot of his career until like the very end, but paved the way, right? And created this billion-dollar business, this brand, this Jordan brand, right? For other athletes and everything as well too. Stefan Clemente did the same thing in a sense of, yo, he's not just battling. He's in Usher videos. He's not just battling. He's in Missy videos. He's not just doing showcases, just doing judges and stuff like that. He's making DVDs and mixtapes and everything, you know, to sell. Like, he was the first dancer that I ever saw with a website, B. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Like, I'm like, yo, hold up. Like, And I would go to MrWiggles.biz and .biz. This is like way back. This like 2000s AOL era.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I used to go to his joint and order his tapes from there because I wanted to learn. But what I saw even more was, I'm like, wow, he's taking everything that he learned and he breaking it down and doing tutorials with it. First cat that I ever seen do tutorials like that. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, there are other people, whatever, that are touring and stuff like that. Yeah, but what happens when you're not touring no more? Where your money gonna come in at? What happens if God forbid, like something happened, you know, to your leg or something like that? You need other streams of income. Jordan was on some like, yo, I need extra streams, right? All right, so cool. We gonna market we gonna rock with Nike and we gonna create this Jordan brand right now. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do these movies. We gonna do the Space Jam. We gonna do the commercials with Michael Jackson and stuff like that. We gonna do the Larry Bird, you know what I mean, joints.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All these different pathways to make income off the court. I said, man, like that's to me like why he's you know, one of the greatest, you know, to ever do it. And
sure.
I think so, a trailblazer, absolutely. And then obviously LeBron now, like you look at Bron, right? Now you look at Bron on got the podcast, you know what I'm saying, the Uninterrupted, like the barbershop John, and putting other people, creating a network and putting other people in position to win as well too. That's next level. You know what I'm saying? While still playing at a high level.
At one of the highest levels. Yo, y'all gotta give my man some credit.
You know what I mean? Like,
he played like 50-something games this year, was averaging 30.
Right.
Like that's up.
You know what I'm saying? But taking care of his body, taking care of his mental wealth, right? Taking care of his being was a huge part of it.
He put at least $1 million a year into just his physical upkeep.
I think it's more now.
It might be.
I think it's more now. We got you, Matt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's more now. And I think that, you know, we have to use that as an example. What resources do you have? Everybody ain't got those resources.
Right.
But what do you have? Right? What do you have inside you? Right? Because he wasn't always paying $1 million a year. Right? He had great people around him. Right? This is why I always say, you know, evaluate your circle like your life depends on it. Because it really does. You know what I'm saying?
It really do.
You have to. If you don't evaluate your circle, then how you gonna get to that next level? Who's really rocking with you? Who are those people that's gonna help you get to that next level? You know? But your top 5, man, I could rock with that.
I think we could do a little damage with that.
I could rock with that. Me, I'm gonna go MJ. I'll go Bron.
Say that.
I'll go Kobe. Actually, I may switch Kobe and Bron, honestly. From, you know, I'm a killer instinct type of dude. You know what I'm saying? So a large portion of Bron's career, whatever, at the beginning or whatever, that kind of like had to be developed. Right now, he, you know, you put him on.
Yeah, he got it.
It's a wrap. You know what I mean? I agree. You know what I'm saying? And then honestly, I rock with Shaq all day.
Got to.
I rock with Shaq all day. And if I'm going to keep it funky, yo, I wish he would have never got hurt.
T-Mac. For Penny. Who that, Grant Hill?
Grant Hill. Grant Hill. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never win no chips. You know what I'm saying? He never win no chips or nothing like that. But, yo, Grant Hill was that dude. Grant Hill was that dude, yo. Like, must be sleeping like, yo, he was that dude. T-Mac was hot.
I about to say, when it come to injuries, like, T-Mac,
Hardaway.
Them dudes come to mind, too. Grant
Come
Hill.
on, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, those are some real kill. And AI was my guy.
Oh, yeah.
AI was my guy. You know what I'm saying?
He had me rocking the braids.
Come on, man. AI was that dude, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Aaron McKee. Yo, Aaron McKee came in the clutch.
Number 8 with that thing.
Aaron McKee, Eric Snow. That was
the squad back then.
That was a squad. Listen, man, you know, it was a pleasure having you on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to have you back.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Hope you had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, where can the people find you at?
Oh, man, I'm on Instagram. At B_Phil, so that's B_PHILZ. Facebook, Bryan Phillips. All my platforms are open, you know, open to the public. So
Go get it, man. Go get it. Listen, everybody, make sure you guys go out and pre-order right now. And if you're watching this on the playback, or if you're watching this 3 months from now, 6 months from now, whenever you're watching this, go to my website, www.kennethalenthomas.com, and go get the book, Nobody is Coming to Save You, How to Lead Through a Storm, okay? How to lead through a storm. Everybody, you're either in a storm, you're going through a storm, or you're coming out of a storm, right? You know what I'm saying? So listen, make sure that you guys go ahead and get that book. Pre-order right now. When you pre-order, there will be a special email that comes out to you in the coming weeks. If you are ordering after this segment, or if it's 6 months from now, we probably already had what we had. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, go out and go ahead and grab that book. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa, abuela, abuelo. Share with everybody that needs to hear this message, all right? Yeah. We're here to inspire somebody. Remember, like we always say, yesterday is gone, tomorrow worry about itself, and today is all we have. And today is all we have. You make sure you impact today the best way you know how. When we change the mind, we change the game, all right? We holler at y'all later. Peace.